This portion of Off the Bench Radio is brought to you by the Walker Valley Baseball 2024 Fundraiser Golf Tournament. It's going to be taking place at the Flagstone Golf Course in Cleveland on Friday, October the 18th. You can go to eventbrite.com to sign up. And if you just search Walker Valley Baseball in the search bar, you can find information about that. I think there's still sponsorships available for that, so definitely make plans to go out there and support Coach Anderson and his Walker Valley Baseball program. Again, eventbrite.com, and just search Walker Valley Baseball to sign up today. So I tell you what, let's go ahead and bring him on, and that is Walker Valley head football coach Drew Akins joining us right here on Off the Bench Radio on Talk 102.3. And Coach Akins, thank you so much for taking the time to join us. I guess before we start talking football, what is your handicap on the golf course, since we're talking about the baseball fundraiser coming up for Coach Anderson's squad?
Well, it's not great. I mean, I typically, if I break 90, I'm happy, honestly. There's summers where, a couple summers ago, me and Coach Harvey would play a bunch, and, I got down to 82, 84, and that was always a good day, a good round for me. So that's about as good as it got. I worked at Windstone Golf Course for years, and when I was working at Windstone is when I really was probably the best I've ever played in my life, and those were fun days. I was playing 4 or 5 days a week. That's a lot of fun. So,
yeah, Coach, just kind of speak on that. Just the importance of getting support for the program, whether it's through raising money or doing stuff like this to get extra funds in. Just talk about the importance of the community and kind of just the community up there in general.
Yeah, listen, our community has done such an unbelievable job when it comes to supporting our program. I've seen it grow and grow, but this past year, I think, is one of the most special things that we've ever had when we did a lift-a-thon this year, and our lift-a-thon raised upwards to $77,000 through sponsorships and parents and families donating in kids' names. And when you talk about that kind of funds raised, it really allows us to run the type of program that we've always kind of dreamed of. When I first took the job at Walker Valley, the first thing I said was we're gonna build a program that these kids can be proud of, that they have great pride in, and I feel like the only way you can do that nowadays is to make sure that you have the money to give them a college-like experience, and we've been lucky to do that. And I say lucky, really it's the fact that our community's bought into what we're doing and wants to support high school kids, and we've had people, so many different companies and people reach out to us saying, hey, what can we do for the program? So it's really special. It's got a small town feel of what that really feels like for the community to really be behind a football team.
Absolutely. Couldn't have said it better myself. So kind of talk about, I guess, the first couple weeks for you and your team. Got a couple of big wins there to open up the year. So kind of just talk about your team's first couple weeks there, and obviously, having to kind of move on from the Evan Schwartzel era from last year, a big piece of your team, but you still have plenty of playmakers coming back and getting off to a good start so far.
Yeah, listen, Evan's one of the most special players that I've ever been able to coach, if not one of the most special, just because of the relationship he and I had, and the love we had for each other, and obviously his ability to play the game, and then him leading us to a semifinal appearance for the first time in school history. Like, all of those things kind of make an impact on how important he was to our program. Obviously, we've got to move forward, and Dawson's done an unbelievable job of that. When you look at what he's done so far this season, 70% completion rate so far. Last week he was 12 of 15, 200 yards and 2 touchdown passes. He's protecting the football. Not throwing interceptions. The only interception he's thrown this year was my fault. It's a bad play call. And he did nothing. The interception was 100% on me, and he knows that, and he understands the scheme. So, we've been lucky to start out the season really strong on the scoreboard. But when you look at the film and you see the mistakes we've made, we've got to clean those mistakes up if we want to continue to be successful with the teams that we have left on our schedule. It's really important for us to be able to stop turning the ball over first and foremost. When you look at the turnovers, we're actually -2 this year, which is we've got to be better at. We've got to make sure we don't have any of these silly penalties. We've had a couple holds, callback touchdowns then we can't allow that to happen. So we've got to play a little cleaner if we want to be successful moving forward.
All right, Coach, talk about is there any different approach? You're going into a hostile environment. You've had better success in this series at Cleveland, but do you handle any different? Is there any more? Do you get any more or less nerves with it being a quote-unquote a rivalry game? It's still kind of early in the season, or does this one feel any different to you, even though it's just week 3?
Yeah, I mean, it absolutely feels different when you talk about it. It 5 years ago when I first took the job, I've said this a couple times this week, and it's just true. 5 years ago, I would have said, man, it's just another game. It doesn't matter. There's really, it does nothing to affect playoff status. It does nothing to affect what we want to do, long-term goals. And all those things are still true, but 5 years later, I just understand the difference in this game and what this game means to our community, what the game means to our kids, and the impact that it has, honestly, on our season. When you look at some of the losses we've had in our county, it's taken us a week or two to kind of get over those games because, it was so difficult when you look at the losses, and we just didn't react well to them. So that's part of what we're trying to do is make sure that we're able and willing to move forward, and whatever happens, we've got to be able to move forward because we got Bradley Central next week too. So this game is obviously meaningful, but in the end, we've got to make sure that we're focused on the bigger picture for this whole season as a whole.
You're listening to Walker Valley head football coach Drew Akins right here on Off the Bench Radio on Talk 102.3. And, well, Coach, you mentioned, back-to-back weeks now, this Friday at Cleveland and then Bradley Central next week. You got the, both county rivals, city rivals there. Give us a couple of keys that you think are going to play big parts if you guys are going to go back-to-back against Cleveland this Friday night.
Yeah, listen, it's going to be a tough task. I mean, both – when you look at both games, obviously we're not looking forward at all. We can't look forward. This Cleveland team is so talented that looking forward would be a massive mistake. It starts with Isaiah Davis and Isaiah's ability to run the football. He's really talented. He's got 400-plus yards already on the season. So we've got to make sure that, we have a plan to stop him. Vertical balls to Braden Carroll. And the number 3, I think his last name's Smith. They're super good at the vertical passing game. And then the Hubbard kid on jet sweeps and just getting the ball in his hand and getting him in space. They got 4 or 5 guys that can go score at any moment. So we've got to make sure that we understand our assignment, that we do our assignment in order to be competitive towards the end of the game. And that's the goal, is get to the fourth quarter in a competitive game. And then do the things that we need to do to be successful in that competitive game.
Well, we're going to be there for our Coca-Cola Red Zone Game of the Week on Friday night. You can start hearing our updates beginning at 8 o'clock. Kickoff is around, I think, is it 7 or 7:30, Coach Akins, the kickoff this week?
I hope it's at 7. We have everything planned for 7. So, we've made pretty much everything at 7 o'clock in our county just because games could typically go off easier at that time. So that's 7 o'clock would be my what we're planning on.
Well, we got it right here. It is 7 o'clock, so we're good there. And
okay.
before we let you go, again, we want to thank you for taking the time to join us on a game week, obviously. So, we talked about this last year when we had you on, whether it was on this program or on our Twitter or X Spaces after these games, and talking about the post-game meal. Is the Drew Akins special as far as like post-game burger still the same, or has the game plan changed, so to speak?
No, man, 2 double cheeseburgers, plain, large fry, large Coke. That's
I'll tell you,
Coke Zero. That's
it
the only
worked
thing
last
that's changed
season
over the years.
Right.
Yeah,
What?
Man, like the only thing that's changed over the years is it used to be a large Coke, now it's a large Coke Zero. That's the only change. So no, listen, y'all, we laugh about it, but man, our Booster Club does that for us every week, and what an unbelievable just group of people that support not only our kids but our coaches, and we have a new coaching staff on defense, a lot of new coaches defensively, and they came in after the game 1, and it was like, how does McDonald's just magically get here? And I was like, guys, this place is different. It's special. So, yeah, no, listen, it's a cool program to be a part of, and to see, what our Booster Club does to pour into our families is really special. So, but, yeah, 2 double cheeseburgers, plain, large fry, large Coke Zero.
Sounds like we need to have –
order until we don't make the playoffs and don't make the semis. We're gonna ride with it.
Well, maybe we can have a couple of those put off to the side for your favorite Tuesday night program in this area for sure, right? So,
all right, man. Yeah. Now, y'all already know you're welcome. We got wings this Thursday for the shutout party.
Oh man!
You know, we had the shutout week 2, so we get wings for shutouts, and then we scored 50 week 1, so we had a 50 burger party. We had all the Hardee's donated some burgers to us, so we got all kinds of stuff going on at the Valley. We eat right, if nothing else.
Well, that is for sure. It's definitely good stuff. We can speak to that firsthand for sure, Justin Sims. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. It's always a good eats up there. And we look forward to being in that environment, hostile environment for you guys, but we expect you to handle it well, and it's going to be a good night, Coach. Thanks again.
Absolutely, guys. Thank you for your support and what y'all do for high school, man. I know I tell you that every time, but it really means a lot to us.
All right. Thank you, Drew. We'll see you on Friday night, sir.
All right, guys. Y'all have a great evening.